first one is my sort of funny voice.
They were mainly killing people, like thousands of people with machete. And you think it's evil as this sort of like quite violent, like, I don't know, like act full of excitement and sort of fury. But I mean, think how many hours it must take to kill that many people. I mean, these guys had to stop to take breaks because their arms were starting to hurt just because the sheer, like, macheting people. Hours and hours, like, grueling work. I mean, this isn't just sort of... You really have to commit to that kind of thing, and I think that's evil, because after a while you become numb to it, don't you? I think part of being good is keeping yourself raw, you know?
Well, it just tastes funny, doesn't it, old wine? I mean, I'll drink it. Well, I tell you. And make an honest digression. Depicting what they imagine people from southernmost countries. And every day, even whilst we're walking, we're probably committing or participating in acts which result in the suffering and death and pain and loneliness of millions and millions of people.
No.
Policeman is seen. Is the policeman after me? In the shops, then they put spike-haired dolls. When they're closing the gates, like, pity the poor businessman. I spent all day in a splendid shaped office. And before he goes home to his tyrannical wife, his time-consuming children, he has to have a moment to his own. Pint in the park, an undignified wee in the bushes. Wonder if he's nearly stepped on a nail. Why, you should see the sky so bright. Which begs the question. Oh, you should have your consciousness shook. And you should carefully love in the moment. But we're not, we're born into this sort of like spider web of like pre-existing good and bad, and we participate in that system whether we like it or not. I leave the park. Did I leave behind me on a bench a tea bag? Will the policeman fingerprint the tea bag? There's a drink in my head, and I'm worried about public drinking. I'm not bored exactly. I decide the policeman isn't following me with a swift glance over my shoulder. Let's take a moment to realise how we left and entered the house. How many dozens of times checking the door is locked? Check the door behind me. I come into my house. That's what is evil, because people just do things and they don't even realise it's bad anymore. Therefore, I shall be there at morning and at midnight. To conscience. Countries more directly beneath the sun. I am a baby pterodactyl. Just out of like an egg. And I do this, I go like this. Mr. Williams yelling. Then I see again my chub fingers reaching up and up, collecting thoughts. Come up to an empty zoo, a few cages keeping bones, numbers and charts to show you, numbers and charts to show you. Anyway, who are you in your darkest days? In your cheapest times? Collect thoughts, blue with the southernmost cross, on our fair ocean. Have I been followed home? Only a girl carrying a picture. Oh, maybe Anna's got it then. I don't know where it is. what those people looked like. Gin always makes me go a little stir crazy. It affects my best friend Liz just the same. Making yourself susceptible to pain. And how do you get away from that? I mean, do you go live in a cave? For their resemblance to southern neighbours. Remember then that the world is dying.
This afternoon's green tea.
Another one. Well, maybe they kind of sound similar. Have I been followed home? Brushing my clothes free from the ashes of the cigarette smoked. Alright, thank you. We live in a world where the entire economy is structured around, over half of the world's children living in poverty. Eating chalk rocks on a poet's down. People on the playground equipment. Too old to be on the playground equipment. But we here like to have faith. The lesson of 7 and 8. If 7 is your lucky number, then 8 is also your lucky number. Because it backs up 7. Because you can't get down that way. I don't know, and then you just feel like giving up. They sold well, but they were fun. You do have to sit long enough to feel the silence, I suppose. Just neatly laid on, left quivering by the fastest winds. There are many ways a terrorist could access the building. Terrorists don't actually exist. If 7 is your lucky number, then 8 is also your lucky number. Nothing lights a fire like a failure. I go into people's houses and I hang around and I have a drink. And I always wind up vandalising something. In front of the pale, drawn-out faces of the house's owners. Nothing lights a fire like a failure. For example, via the underground passage. You know that quote, like, evil prevails when good men do nothing? Mm-hmm. That. So you have to do something, but then what do? You give up all your possessions and, I don't know, campaign relentlessly every day? I mean, if you take a rest for 1 minute, is that evil?